Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. Thank you so much for being here. If you're an old friend, welcome back. If you're a new friend, welcome. If you're unsure what the Akashic Records are, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com. And there I have some videos explaining what the records are, what a reading is, and all kinds of good stuff. So that's a great place to dive in if you're curious. But for right now, if it's safe and accessible, if you're not multitasking, I invite you to take this moment to just arrive where you are. If it feels good, and only if it's safe, you can close your eyes. And feel the force of gravity on your body. Maybe you can feel it in the muscles of your face as you relax them. Or maybe if you're standing or sitting, you can feel your weight drop down a little bit. Just really relishing this feeling of landing where you are. Feeling anchored, grounded, lovingly held by the earth itself and her gravitational field that always holds you close. The records are sharing with us. Your impact is infinite and inherently mysterious. Your impact is infinite and inherently mysterious. I just want to let that land. I feel like there's so much just in that one sentence. A lot of us are focused or have this value. We get something from this word or this feeling of impact. It's something that we value and aspire to have a positive impact on things, on people that you care about, on causes that you care about, on aspects of life in general that you care about. Impact is, it seems almost like a buzzword, but it feels like it's at the center of service a lot of times, to have a positive impact. And again, it's something that many of us aspire to. And what the records are saying is you can change the way that you look at impact, and just for a moment, try on this perspective and see how it feels to you. Instead of relating to impact as something to aspire to, I hope that I have an impact. I hope that I leave a legacy. I hope that what I'm doing creates a positive effect. That's something I'm trying to do, endeavoring to do, aspiring to do in some way. you can begin to relate to impact as something that happens all the time. Something that is happening all the time. So instead of how am I going to create an impact, what can I do to make an impact? It's shifting into the seat of everything I do already makes an impact. How am I engaging with that? Am I aware of that? So instead of like pushing forward and thinking I'm going to do something to make an impact, it's sitting in the center of your own creative force and knowing that everything you do has an impact. And it might be very subtle. It might be small. But everything you do has an impact, either on you or the environment around you, the people around you, the animals around you, whatever it might be. Every moment that you exist, you're creating, you are impacting, interacting with whatever is around you. And so this could be an empowering perspective to realize, oh my goodness, it's not that, and I'm not saying don't aspire to create impact, but it's just this recognition that the way I be, my existence is impactful on myself and others. And to recognize that you can't really get around that. Everything you say to someone has an impact. It could be subtle, it might not be felt, but it has this potential to have impact. And oftentimes the things that we're not even thinking about are impacting other people. And so there comes this like empowering point of view and also this responsibility. How are you engaging with the world? And if you're unaware that what you're doing moment to moment is impactful, then it's almost like we're missing out on an opportunity to engage and be creative, co-creative, collaborative with this impact that is radiating out of us. And you can think of it, if you can imagine and if you feel that you are interconnected with everything, if you feel you are a part of the universe, that you came out of this earth, that you're part of the earth, which you are, and you are interconnected with the people around you, but you're interconnected with life itself, the planet itself. And you're even interconnected with beings and the planet in the past and in the future. So it's not just in the present. You are interconnected with things across time, which is mind-blowing. And so if you're relating to your being as impactful, if you know that you're interconnected, when you move, if you are connected to everything around you and everything around you is connected to everything else that surrounds it, you are part of this whole. And this doesn't have to be a metaphysical woo thing. It can just be like, you can think about it very literally in a concrete way of, when I speak to the person closest to me, it impacts their mood. It can uplift them. It could give them a reality check. It could deflate them. It could have no impact. It could be neutral, right? It could not cause a fluctuation. Pardon me. That was hilarious. But yeah, it might not cause a fluctuation. And if you're thinking about that, it's like, yeah, it's this like butterfly effect that people talk about, right? And it's like the reason that like smile at someone is such a big thing. It's like, just smile at a stranger, you don't know, what it might do for them. And it's that same thing of like, there is like a chain of impact all the time, but it's not just when you choose to engage with it. It's happening all the time. And that could be scary to think about. because there is this like onus, there's this responsibility now. Once you recognize that everything you do, the way you be, has impact constantly, then you have to take responsibility for it. Or you're invited to take responsibility for it. And if you dismiss it and think about impact only as something that occurs when you endeavor to do it, then, we don't have to worry about it all the time. So it's this powerful, like, meeting point conjunction of creative potential, reality, and responsibility. If the way I exist naturally impacts everything that surrounds me, and that has the potential to then change how the people I'm connected to or the things I'm connected to then interact and engage with whatever they are connected to, that's what the records mean when they say your impact is infinite and inherently mysterious. You don't know how far it's going to go. You don't know how far it's going to stretch into time. You don't know how it will shift as it bounces off from person to person to person, or person to environment to person, or whatever it might be. Across time, across space, everything you do and say and how you be has impact. And they're keen in saying it's not that you have the potential for infinite impact, it's that you are infinite impact. What you are doing it already, everything you do, it already is emanating this infinite impact. Everything that you have said to people, there are things that stick, and there's things that like might roll off them and not really have that impact, but you can relate to impact as something that's happening all the time. And you can think about it again in concrete ways, like how many times has something that like like the person at the coffee shop, what they've said to you, how they've spoken to you, how many times has that stuck with you for even 5 minutes after, or maybe even a few hours, or the rest of the day? Or maybe you even have a memory of someone not speaking to you kindly at a place that still kind of is with you. Or something beautiful that they've said that still has stayed with you. So that's what I mean. It's these tiny, tiny interactions that can really stay with people. And so it's just this opportunity to relate to impact differently and to take creative responsibility for the impact that you are already inherently emanating through every action and inaction and way of being that you are. I feel like I could go on and on about this, but the thing to think about is these like micro interactions, understanding that you don't know how far they are going to go. It's inherently mysterious where what you do and how you be is going to end up, at what point in time it will land or continue to keep unfurling and unfolding. And to like bring that awareness that if a tiny thing I say or do or be can have this infinite impact, then what would it be like if I engaged with this reality with awareness? So that's where I'm going to leave you for today. And I hope that made sense. I'd love to know how this landed for you and how you tend to think about impact, and if this was a different perspective or if this is kind of how you engage with it already. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share a comment or send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I'm wishing you well. Namaste.